Welcome back. You're watching Make in India, a new deal for defense. I'm Shireen Bhan, and today we're focusing on telemetry and antenna systems. For Verdant, an 18-year-old company, the current framework for the MSME sector in the defense space is proving to be a hindrance. The company says there is an urgent need to focus on this sector since it is the hub for technological innovations and forms the backbone of any system integrator. Verdant Telemetry feels the current framework of policies, like the defense procurement policy, the offset policy and tax regulations, have so far ignored the existence, the importance and the role of the MSME sector. They hope that the new policy will bring more parity and opportunities for the MSME space. Purnima Murli discusses the opportunities and challenges faced by the company and the sector with Louis George, the Managing Director of Verdant Telemetry.
We are focusing on developing India's defense industry with a sense of mission. This is why it is at the heart of our Make in India program. We are reforming our defense procurement policies and procedures. There will be a clear preference for equipment manufactured in India.
Prime Minister Modi is confident that defense output will double if the domestic procurement increases from 40% to 70% in the next 5 years. And Verdant Telemetry is betting big on this opportunity. It is confident it will play a bigger role in the coming years, but worries that the long procurement cycle may prove to be a big hurdle.
Mostly MSMEs will be addressing some components or subsystems and so on. So, when you're addressing that and you look at the gestation for the whole project, it's pretty long. So if you cut short the time, it definitely helps the MSMEs.
While the defense procurement policy of 2013 opened up a 90,000 crore rupee offset opportunities for player and defense public sector undertakings and companies in the MSME sector, this offset policy was cut to size after the government scrapped the Rafale deal, a deal that had a 50% offset requirement. It's this kind of uncertainty that has MSME players in the field feeling uneasy. To hedge against such occurrences, MSMEs like Verdant are reinventing themselves, but competing against global players is a big gamble. So Verdant hopes that new policy will encourage companies to set up facilities in the country.
If policies encourage people setting up shops here, will definitely do a good job. So earlier we were talking about the percentage coming and all that, not dwelling on that. It should enable more people to set up shops here.
Verdant is already exporting to clients in the US and European markets. But that's not enough for the company which wants to grow its top line 10 times in the next 5 years. While the Prime Minister wants India to be an export hub for defense equipment, the company hopes there will soon be some clarity in the export regime, which will make life a little easier.
It should enable export. I mean, there is a lot of clarity issues when you see in exports. Shortfall of clarity is that. Make things clearer, then it will make it easier, because those who have already grown technology here don't have a possibility of exporting it directly. So if suppose you're creating a environment that things are made easier, you can straight away start exporting.
Verdant admits that the antenna segment is a minuscule portion of the entire defense equipment universe, but it hopes that the government's Make in India initiative will help it expand its overall production capacity and open up new vistas for growth.
We focused pretty lot on Make in India. We should also focus more on design, develop and Make in India. When I look and talk from the Verdant angle, that's what I would like to share. This is not so generic, but there are companies and there are capabilities in India which can develop its own product. These are the specialist small companies. And the larger companies are so focused on getting the size right. Okay, they just tie up with somebody, get the technology and move forward. You really don't have a complete growing up of the technology here. If suppose you look at the requirement of antennas in India, we are addressing only a small fraction, where our capacity utilization is just about 20 to 25% of what we can do. I can easily expand it further.
But Make in India alone will not be enough. Verdant argues that currently not many Indian players buy components made in India. and the government does little to help small defense players break into the big league by supplying to the commercial sector.
The biggest challenge is bringing it up to a commercial scale. It is highly market dependent, and the market environment, that is where policies and decision makers could play a big role. And once that shift starts, then you can slowly start things to show results. The commercial challenge is a challenge which will get addressed only when the policy matters do help, make a bigger dent on it. If the component is available in India, I'm seeing this put into practice in other countries, it should be given a protection. India, we are addressing only a small portion of the market that is available in India. There is no protection for Indian companies. They're merely importing.
Taxation is another issue Verdant faces. The company hopes the government will look into the uneven tax structure which forces many companies to bid for programs through JVs and associates. It also wants the tax rules around related party transactions to be relaxed.
Tax-wise, we think we should be put on an even par. We are put on an uneven par. In fact, somebody who imports something has no taxes on it. We have, in all cases, we have to go through the full tax regime of sales tax or central excise. Everything is applicable to us. So it has to be put on an even par. So only then we will have any possibility of competing.
FDI is another problem area, but one where there has been some traction of late. Last year, when the FDI cap in defense was hiked to 49%, Verdant was able to bring in NRI investment to the tune of 23 lakh rupees. Verdant acknowledges that the government's policy-making skills are top-notch, but says that execution is sorely lacking. So while top policy makers may be keen on making it easier for defense firms to do business, that sentiment does not carry all the way down the bureaucracy.
There are policies being talked about MSME and reservation, but we have to still see action in the ground. Policy is generally getting inclined towards this area, and it's an ongoing process. As long as the leadership is continuing that momentum there, it's fine. And it has to evolve. One fine day you can't change many things. But what you can have to really bring about, it's seen to reflect in the senior level, but it has to percolate down. So things have to come into action. That is what is now more important to be seen than the policy, because policy-wise you already started and the movement has to continue.
Well, that was Verdant Telemetry, an MSME company with the potential to make it in the global defense market. Verdant is now widening its portfolio to subsystems. From a predominantly defense player, it's also set to explore the commercial space. With the Modi government's Make in India push, it hopes conducive policies will allow the company to make a mark in the global avionics market. Verdant is also set to develop and manufacture more components for its Indian and global clients. We hope the dream of every MSME of becoming a global niche player rings true. Well, with that, it's time for us to wrap up this week's edition of Make in India, a New Deal for Defense. We'll be back next week with more stories from the Indian defense sector. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye and thanks for watching.